Chapter 3b, number 7. Okay, so in this one they give you two sets of parallel lines, and you have to figure out what x, y, and z are. By the way, this right here is a 3z, not a 32. I always put lines through my z's so that they try not to look like 2's there. Okay, so if you look at this, the only angle that we know for sure is this 115. So let's use that. So I can tell you right away that this angle here has to be 65 because together they form a straight angle. I can use vertical angles to get 65 here. I can use vertical angles to get 115 here. And now I've locked in these four angles up in the top. So what I need to do is I need to somehow get those involved in the other angles. So if I look right here at this line and then these two parallel lines here and here, right? If I move this over to the side, right, this one's 115, then what I can do is I can say, well, since these are parallel, I can slide these four down to here because these are their corresponding angles down here. So this one's 115, this one's 65, this one's 65, this one's 115, right? So if I put it back now, you can kind of see that 115 in the top left of the bottom part, this one right here, ends up where the z plus y is when I put it back, right there on top of the z plus y. So over on the side here, I'm going to write z plus y equals 115. Okay, so this one right here, 115, 65, 65, 115. Well, I can do the same thing right here with these two parallel lines and this transversal, right? So if I move this over, well, this one's got to be 65, this one's got to be 115, 65, 115. And if I put this back, you can tell the 5y in that bottom corner up here is the same as 65. So over here I'm going to write 5y should equal 65. Now this one I can solve right away. So this is going to make y, when I divide by 5 on both sides, it's going to make y equal 13. Okay, so now I have y equals 13. Well, up here, I can now plug in 13, so z plus 13 equals 115. So z is going to be 102. Okay. So I can do the same logic one more time. All right, if I put this back, let me erase some of this just to clean it up a little. And now I can draw this parallel line with the bottom. Right? These two are parallel to each other. So if I move this over, well, now these angles slide up to here. So 115, 65, 65, 115. And if I put these back, that 65 up on the top right now matches up with x plus 3z. So x plus 3z equals 65. And I already know that z is 102. So x plus 3 times 102 equals 65. So x plus 306 equals 65. And if I subtract 306 from both sides, I get negative 241. Now some students see this and they think, well, how can that be? Negative 241, you can't have negative angles. But if you plug in the x and the z into that angle up here that's circled in red, you're going to get a positive 65. So the angle is still positive, it's just that the x is negative.